In the final part of this tutorial, I'll be explaining how to twist both forwards and backwards for gymnastics and tumbling. Twisting skills are also performed on apparatus and as dismounts, but this tutorial will be focusing in on learning how to twist on the floor. Of course, once the basics of twisting are mastered on floor, they can be transferred across to your dismounts and releases on apparatus, but be aware that there are many other specific techniques to bear in mind with these skills which are beyond the scope of this video. As I mentioned in the first part of this tutorial, it's not uncommon for gymnasts to learn how to twist on a trampoline before transferring the techniques across to the floor. And if you're somebody who likes trampolines, I would definitely recommend that you do this. It's lower impact on the joints, which means you can perform more repetitions before you start to ache, and you can get more time in the air, which means more time to think about the techniques during the early stages of learning. However, if you're somebody who just does not get on with trampolining, it should be very possible to learn just using a floor or tumble track, and ideally a pit. Before learning to twist, you should be able to do back and front somersaults in the tuck, pike and straight positions. You can go into your backward summies from round off or round off flick, and you can go into your forward summies from either a handspring or just a simple run up. It doesn't really matter which setups you use, just use what works best for you. Personally, I like to do my backward twists from a round off and my front skills from a run and punch, so that's how I'll be demonstrating them here. The twisting techniques should be identical regardless of the setup you use. You should also have a pretty good understanding of blocking in both your forward and backward tumbling so that you can get maximum height and give yourself the time in the air you need to complete your twists. I have a separate tutorial on blocking which you can watch by following this link. Please take the time to watch it if you are unsure of what blocking is or how to do it effectively. We will start with forward twisting. The starting point is to learn the front half twist, which is typically learned in the tuck position before being done piked and straight. Definitely work into a pit to start with if you have one available. If not, a thick safety mat will have to do. I would also start by jumping off a springboard to give you a bit more air time, then working it down to the floor at a later date. Start by doing your tuck front and try to open out nice and early in anticipation of the landing. The earlier you can open out and still land it on your feet, the more likely the twist is to be successful. Next, practice landing the tuck front with your head turned to the side and your arms in the wrapped position by your chest in preparation for the twist. When you go for the half twist, be sure to take off exactly the same as a regular tuck front and then initiate the twist at the point which you would normally start to open out. As you let go of your legs, bend your arms and pull your fists into your chests and across to the side, as well as turning your shoulders and your head. As you finish the twist, flare your arms out to the side and prepare for the landing. Once you can complete the half twist consistently, start landing on a mat in the pit, then build the mats up to the same height as the floor, then take away the springboard. Finally, you should be ready to try the full skill on the floor. Once you have the tuck half twist on floor, go through the same set of progressions to develop the half twist in the piked and straight shapes. A straight half in gymnastics is a little different to a straight Barani in trampolining, as it should still have a slight pike upon takeoff, then kick straight and twist over the top. As you go forwards and start to add more twists to your front somersaults, I would always recommend going through the same set of progressions using the springboard, the pit, and gradually increasing the height of the mat before attempting it on the floor. Landing a twist only part of the way around on hard floor puts a lot of pressure through the ankles and knees, and for injury prevention, you want to be as sure as possible that you're going to be able to get the twist all the way around before you try it on the floor with no mat. Once you have your front half, it's time to develop the front full twist. The front full can be done either tucked or straight, with the pike and kick out into the twist technique. I would recommend that you aim to learn both, starting with the tuck. The tuck full is best done with more of a contact twist technique and a puck shape throughout, rather than tucking in tight and kicking out into the twist like in the tuck half. The full is a fairly natural progression from the half. It's really just a case of pulling your arms down and to the side harder and holding the wrap in for longer. The straight full is essentially the same technique as the tuck full, it just requires slightly more somersault rotation due to the longer body shape. Front 1.5 is again a fairly natural progression from the straight front full, as again it is really just a case of pulling harder and wrapping for longer. Remember at this stage, as was mentioned in the first part of the tutorial, when you start adding more twists, less somersault rotation is needed to make it around to your feet. Be careful to take this into account to help prevent over rotation. Once you have the front 1.5, you can move on to the front double twist fairly naturally and intuitively, as by this stage you should already have a pretty solid understanding of the twisting technique. The only thing which I would change when going for front double twist or more is to try and use more of a straight front takeoff rather than piking and kicking out like you do in the straight somersault with less degree of twist. In my experience, if you're trying to do 2 twists or more, piking in and kicking out to initiate the twist doesn't really allow enough time to complete the twist cleanly. It's probably better to drive your heels to get your body straight upon takeoff and twist immediately using a contact twist technique. Now we move on to backward twists. Unlike in trampolining, backward twisting is normally taught in a bit more of a conventional way, as half twist to crash dive is not possible on floor, and the Arabian takeoff is not exactly the same as the takeoff for a perfect back twist. Start by doing a nice high straight back, ensuring that you are lifting your arms as you take off. This will be important later on as it will allow you to set the twist. Now practice doing a straight back, but then pulling the arms into the wrapping position by your chest as you go over. This teaches you the correct timing for the wrap. When you go for the half twist, take off just like a straight back, and when you pull your arms into your chest, pull to the side and turn your shoulders simultaneously. You should manage a half twist fairly easily. Just before you land, you can unwrap the arms and prepare for the landing. Once you have the half twist, the full twist is just a case of pulling across to the side harder and holding the wrap for longer. Developing multiple twists backwards can be done in exactly the same way as multiple twists forwards. Again, bearing in mind that once you start doing double twist and more, you will need quite a steep blocking angle out of your round off or round off flick, as well as a well-directed takeoff to prevent over-rotation of the somersault. As you start progressing to double twist and more, the twist will also become more of a contact twist to ensure that you can complete the twist well in time before the landing. Spotting the landing for something and a half twists forwards or for complete twists backwards is fairly intuitive, as you can see the floor as you open out and come into land. However, something and a half twists going backwards or complete twists going forwards result in what appears to be a blind landing, which can make landing cleanly quite difficult. There is, however, a special technique which can be applied to these blind twists to allow the landing to be spotted before the twist is completed. Earlier spotting of the landing allows for much cleaner landings because you're more aware of where you are in the air, and also makes punching out of the skills much easier. In order to spot the landing in one of these blind landing skills, you need to come out of the twist and spot the floor when there is still a half twist left to go. Let's look at the front full twist as a fairly simple example. Take off as normal, and then when the first half twist is complete, start to open the arms and spot the floor below. As you continue into the second half twist, your vision will stay on the floor for as long as possible, allowing you to orientate your position in space before snapping the head back around to the front for the landing. The same spotting technique can be used in the exit of the twist in the front full, back 1.5, front double twist, back 2.5, etc, etc. It goes without saying that this is a fairly advanced technique and should not be the emphasis when first learning twisting skills. However, when the twisting skill starts to become a bit more consistent, this technique can be worked into it to further that move's development. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it useful. If you did, be sure to like it, favourite it and share it with anyone else who you think might find it helpful. For more regular updates, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for even more videos and updates, make sure that you like my Facebook page and subscribe to my training YouTube channel. If you have any comments, suggestions or questions, please leave them below and I'll make sure that I get back to you. Thank you, hopefully see you again soon.